Welcome in, everyone. We had great weather at the flea market and there was a lot to see, so it was a fun day visiting the grounds and seeing what everybody had for sale. Not a whole lot of tables specifically have video games, but there's definitely no shortage of things to look at. But the people who do bring video games usually bring some pretty interesting stuff. So here's a quick look at some of the items that I picked up while at the event. First, an item that was actually on my short list, the Nintendo 64 version of Nightmare Creatures. And I know I'd played this a bunch on the PlayStation, renting the game back in the day when it was released, but made me curious about the Nintendo 64 version of it, because when I look at my N64 collection, I have most everything that I really want for it. There's not a lot of stuff I'm actively hunting for on the Nintendo 64, so I was kind of just grabbing at various odds and ends, and this happened to be one of the games. So this is one I'm excited to get to at some point. We're almost, unfortunately, through October at this point, so this would be a nice Halloween game, but unfortunately I don't think I'm going to get to it before the month ends, but this is definitely something I want to revisit at some point. And next we have the PlayStation version of Tetris Plus. This has a really cool arcade version. A lot of people seem to enjoy going for 1cc's on it. It's a pretty neat game, despite how it tries to differentiate itself from the common gameplay of Tetris. But this has a number of game modes on it. You can just play straight up Tetris if you want, but you can take advantage of the extra modes in here where you guide the little researcher up to the top of the stage so they don't get squished by the ceiling. It's an interesting concept. It's really charming. It's one of the Jellicoe games, so they have a lot of really nice charm to their graphics and characters a lot of times. So this was, at a point, this was so cheap that I couldn't pass it up. Kind of surprised this wasn't in my library already, but it's something that I rented a couple of times in passing, kind of in between big releases, and I did have some fun with it, so I did want to add it to the collection. And getting a little bit back into Nintendo Wii games, I did come across this, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Smash Up, which this is, essentially it's Smash Brothers, but it features all Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles characters, and there is a PlayStation 2 version. I kind of had my eye on the PlayStation 2 version, but it doesn't tend to show up at events. I guess it's not really common to find in the wild around here, so I ultimately settled on this. It was a complete copy for a handful of bucks, so I just finally decided to bite the bullet and accept the Nintendo Wii version into the library. But this will fit in because at some point in the near future I do want to do a Nintendo Wii stream revisiting games such as Soul Calibur Legends, so again, this is something that'll fit nicely into that lineup of games. And here we have ESPN2 Extreme Games. Mostly picked this up because of it being a long box for the PlayStation. I really like long box titles, so that's why, it's probably why I like the Sega Saturn so much, displaying those games on the shelf. But PlayStation was a big part of me growing up. Played it a ton, so the PlayStation 1 very special to me, and I just have an affinity for these long boxes. I probably played 2 Extreme. There's a sequel to this called 2 Extreme. I probably played that one way more than this one, so all of my memories that I had in my head were based on 2 Extreme. So I did pop this in real quick to make sure it works, and I was kind of taken aback at the differences between the games. But this one still has a really cool vibe to it, the digitized graphics and the racing that resembles like Skitchin on the Genesis and sort of Road Rash as well, both done by both published by EA on the Sega Genesis. So this game has those vibes, so I couldn't help but pick it up. Another one, it was too cheap to pass up, so we'll add it to the long box library. And then there's one final video gaming purchase. This one's kind of a big boy, so I'll only hold it up temporarily. But we're back on it. We found the system-only Xbox. No cords, but I have tons of cords and controllers for this. As I said in my previous flea market video, my wife and I had an Xbox, and over time the laser, the disk drive stopped reading the discs. So we've been on the hunt for cheap Xbox systems, the consoles themselves, and we did find one last year for dirt cheap, but it was in so-so condition. It sort of worked, but it required a lot of cleaning and maintenance. So this was at the flea market, no cords, no controllers, anything. So the price on this one was cheap enough that maybe third time's the charm here, and got it hooked up, and it seems to be performing a little bit better, but I need to go through all of my discs because it seems like a lot of the stuff I had problems getting to work on the other system also had troubles working on this system as well. So I think there's a few discs I need to go in, get repaired and clean up, and see if they fare better inside this system. But overall, performance-wise, I do feel like this one, picking it up, it was obviously cleaner than the previous Xbox and stuff, but I paid such a low price for that last Xbox. It was kind of a shot in the dark, but this one's, I paid $10 more for this one, but it's, like I said, it's cleaner, it seems to be working a little bit better, so I'm crossing my fingers that at the end of the day, we'll be able to get this pulled together so it'll play all of my Xbox games, which I do have a handful. I don't have a ton of Xbox games, but I do have a handful that are not backwards compatible for the Xbox 360 or moving forward. So there are definitely some Xbox discs that I truly enjoy that I want to be able to play, and I need this original console to do so. So there's the flea market visit in a nutshell and what I picked up video game wise. My family and I supported other local vendors while at the event, and we have one final trip planned for Detroit Retro Gaming Show. This is the fall show that takes place in November, so we're looking forward to this gathering, and I will be sure to have information and videos on this event coming soon. Hopefully everyone is enjoying the videos from The Arcade and Cleveland Gaming Classic, and there are now a number of features available on the Sega Dreamcast game ESPN NBA 2 Night that is available on GameUbaka, my Twitch channel, and this YouTube channel. If you want to explore IGN's worst rated Dreamcast game ever with me, check the links in the video description or with the ending card at the conclusion of this video.